From Peoria, VideoMax Limited presents Midstate Magazine with your hosts, Sandra Hall and Brett Lemick. Our news anchors are Jennifer French and Lawson Barger. News interviewer is Joanna Maggio. And the Midstate News Team. State of the Arts with Stanzi Wolf. Sports with Brian Beto, Drew Clark, and Danny Janakis. Amanda Swanson takes us about town. Daniel Shore takes us exploring Bradley. Lamara Johnson is our street team. Casey Schwartz says, let's eat. Anna Deep is in need. Shannon Pierce says, get real. And on beat with Rihanna Pouncey. Our Tech Talk segment, producer and host is Troy Amick. And now, from America's friendliest city, VideoMax Limited presents Midstate Magazine with your hosts, Sandra Hall and Brett Lemick. Take it away, kids.
I pledge allegiance to Midstate Magazine.
Channel 22 of Peoria.
And to the audience for which they watch.
One channel.
Under Bob.
Indivisible.
With loyalty and enjoyment for all.
Welcome to Midstate Magazine. I'm your host, Sandra Hall.
And I'm your other host, Brett Lemick. So under Bob, isn't it usually under God?
No, Bob, as in Bob Jacobs.
Who's Bob Jacobs?
The executive producer of Midstate Magazine.
Oh, is that the guy that has the, what is it? He rides around on a Harley? And
Yes, the Harley Davidson. That's Bob.
Yeah, he pretty much puts this whole thing together.
Yes, and we want to honor him for producing such a wonderful show.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, a little interesting fact, the intro when it says, welcome to the friendliest city of Peoria, that's actually him.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, thanks, Bob. All right, now, so on today's show, we're honoring this beautiful nation as we take a patriotic look into what's it all about.
Sounds good. So we're going to look into a little facts and trivia questions and stuff like that. Don't test me too hard because I'm not all too. I can do fine. We'll see.
Well, we're gonna show you some things. We're gonna talk about the American flag.
Okay.
Statue of Liberty.
All right. I know that. I'm just going over it.
Let's see. What else could we talk about?
I learned this way back in like 8th grade. But first, we're gonna go to the news.
All right, news with Jennifer and Lawson.
Thank you, Sandra and Brett. I'm Lawson Barger.
And I'm Jennifer French. Thanks for joining us this evening. Whittier Primary School once received a national attention for its performance. Whittier has been identified as an exemplary school by the U.S. Department of Education, the only school in the state to receive this distinction. Whittier received the National Blue Ribbon Award from the Department of Education in 2005, and this year was one of 5 recipients of the National Center for Urban School Transformation's Excellent in Education Awards. It has been an Illinois Spotlight School for 3 years in a row, an honor given to high-poverty, high-performing schools that achieve despite the odds. The Rotary Club of Peoria North has kicked off its Generation Next Vision program. The club's goal is to help as many graduating Peoria alternative high school students pay for tuition at a junior college or trade school as it can. In exchange, students are required to maintain at least a 2.2 grade point average and seek out a mentor. Rotary members have already donated $25,000 to kick off the scholarship program. They hope to raise another $20,000 at their signature event Friday, October 20th, at the Country Club of Peoria.
In health news, in 2004, production problems at one manufacturer caused severe shortages and hour-long lines for the vaccination. However, about 75 million doses of flu vaccine should be in most doctors' offices and clinics by the end of October. Overall, more than 100 million doses are expected over the next several months. The best time for a vaccination is in October or November, before the flu season typically begins. It is cautioned that some clinics and doctors' offices and other health care providers still may not receive their full allotment until November or later. For the first time in 2 years, the American Red Cross has issued a medical emergency, and Claire Johnson has the story.
The Red Cross says that blood donations are especially needed now in early September.
The summer months are typically a time we have a very low blood supply. People get busy with other things and their vacations, so they don't think to take time to donate blood.
If a disaster were to occur, there would be only a day and a half of blood supply for every blood type combined. Currently, the Red Cross is relying on other sources for blood.
You know, there's really nothing in it for me, but, you know, I think it's, you know, I'd if I were in that situation, I'd sure be glad there's people out giving blood if I need it.
It's very easy to donate blood. All you have to do is walk through the door or call.
We encourage anyone to call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE and schedule an appointment. And at that time, we can provide them with any hours or any other blood drives we're having in the Peoria area.
For Midstate Magazine, I'm Claire Johnson.
Thank you, Claire. For more information about blood donation, call the American Red Cross at 1-800-GIVE-LIFE or check them out on the web at www.americanredcross.org.
President Bush's proposed 2007 budget could cost Illinois schools almost $130 million. The budget would cut the amount of reimbursements for special education services, meaning districts would have to cover these costs themselves. For the District 150, these costs may amount to $2 to $3 million. The budget is set for approval by October, but the Bush administration could implement the changes at any time. Legislation is pending in the Senate to protect the reimbursements. Now to Joanna on the interview set.
Thank you, Jennifer and Lawson. I'm Joanna Maggio. While some fraternities and sororities are formed specifically for the purpose of developing friendships, many are more focused on promoting professional etiquette and community service. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated prides itself on these two goals. Demetrius Watson is the president of the Zeta Mu chapter of Phi Beta Sigma here at Bradley University. Welcome, Demetrius.
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. So you say your fraternity is based on community service. So what are the community service programs that your fraternity deals with?
Well, pretty much my fraternity, we have 3 national programs: Bigger, Better Business, Education, and Social Action. Bigger, Better Business pretty much is the entrepreneurship and promoting minority businesses. Education is fostering young men and women to succeed academically to their best ability. And social action is any service we do in the community, as far as going to centers, as far as like the George Washington Carver Center here in Peoria, supporting their activities, supporting any activities on campus as far as Habitat for Humanity, anything along the sorts.
Okay, so you said the George Washington Carver. What do you do for that? What's that about?
Well, every year we annually go to the George Washington Carver Center for many reasons. One being that George Washington Carver was a Sigma himself. We go there, we talk to the kids, most of them being between the ages of 12 and 16, do a little homework with them. We also go in the gym, give them extracurricular activities to do. And also, we are beginning a tutoring program, me and some of my little sisters that we have here on campus. We're going to go there annually throughout the weeks, 2 or 3 days a week, and help with subjects that the kids are struggling with.
Okay. So do you have to be part of the fraternity to get involved with the programs?
No, you don't. You could be any individual wanting to do service for the community. My fraternity, we base ourselves and we pride ourselves on being more a part of the exclusive us, as opposed to most fraternities and sororities who separate themselves from the common college student.
Okay. And so how do you get involved with the fraternity then?
We try to publicize ourselves as much as possible, flyers. I try to make my face known to as many students on campus as possible. We also have contact information everywhere.
Okay.
Before I leave today, hopefully I can give my contact information.
Oh, great. No, we'll definitely do that. Actually, I just want to thank you so much for you being here. But to contact Demetrius on anything, his email address is dawatson@bradley.edu. Thank you, and back to you, Jennifer and Lawson.
Thank you, Joanna. Last week, Bradley University joined the nation in the remembrance of September 11th attacks that took place 5 years ago. The September 11th observance included reflections of Officer Myers, a survivor of the attacks on the Pentagon, student body president Byron Irving, and Bradley University president David Broski. The University Symphonic Winds and Chorale also performed during the program.
Bradley alum Willie Scott went from playing basketball at the Civic Center to designing clothes for big names like Prince. Scott designed the outfit Prince wore when performing alongside Beyoncé at the 2004 Grammy Awards, as well as his wardrobe for the Musicology Tour. The former men's basketball player developed an interest in fashion designing while playing professional ball in Italy. In 1999, he launched William Scott Custom Clothier, where his designs range in price from $1,500 to $6,000. For more information, contact Willie Scott at wsfashion@aol.com. Now we're kicking it over to Brian with sports.
Thanks, Lawson. Well, Patrick O'Brien's professional career has gotten off to a rocky start. The former Bradley basketball star has suffered a fractured right foot, which will sideline the current Golden State Warrior for a minimum of 1 month. The number 9 overall pick in this year's draft sustained the injury at a team scrimmage in Las Vegas. Well, the ATP Tour concluded its Grand Slam season with Roger Federer once again being crowned champion of the U.S. Open in Flushing, New York. But here in Peoria, tennis season is heading into mid-season form. With that being said, let's go to Elise Montrose for this week's Athlete Tip of the Week.
Hi, I'm Elise Montrose and I play for Bradley University's tennis team. Today I'm going to show you 3 tips on how to hit an effective serve. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you get a good shoulder turn. The second thing is a high toss over your head. And the third thing is a good knee bend. So all together, here's how it's going to look. I'm Elise Montrose and that's your Athlete Tip of the Week.
Thanks, Elise. And last but not least, the first 2 weeks of the NFL season have come and gone. It's been a very similar pattern to pro football to start the year. Game-winning field goals, primetime performances by the NFL's elite, and shocking upsets have set the tone yet again here in 2006. However, one big change from this year to past years, however, is the networks that these dramatic contests are aired on. We go to Drew Clark with more on both Sunday and Monday Night Football, trying to thrive in their new environments.
You're ready for some football. The NFL season has recently gotten underway, but the way it is brought into our homes has undergone some changes. Monday Night Football, the long-running ABC staple, has already made the move to ESPN this season. Well-known commentators of the past decades, such as Cosell, Gifford, and Michaels, have been replaced by names such as Tirico, Theismann, and Kornheiser. Another big move is ESPN's Sunday Night Football's move to NBC. NBC, which has waned in the last few years in its sports coverage, has landed a big one with the acquisition of NFL rights. The network has now made large strides in the evening playing field. The game of football itself hasn't changed, but the way we see it may have. Will these moves be beneficial to the NFL and the networks? Only time will tell. Back to you, Brian.
Well, thanks, Drew. I have a feeling with the cast of all-star commentators on both networks, in particular NBC with Costas, Michaels, and Madden, both Sunday and Monday Night Football will be a huge hit on the respective networks for quite some time. Back to you, Lawson.
Thanks. I look forward to it, Brian. In this week's Oddly Enough, a blind man who was convicted of dangerous driving after he admitted to being behind the wheel of a car that touched 35 miles per hour was given a 3-month suspended sentence and is now banned from driving for 3 years. Omid Aziz, 31, who lost his eyes after an explosion in his homeland of Iraq, had been driving by following instructions on where to steer and when to brake from a passenger who himself had been banned from driving. In his defense, Aziz said he was testing his driving abilities. At an earlier hearing, he had admitted to driving with no license and no insurance. Thanks for joining us at Midstate News. I'm Lawson Barger.
And I'm Jennifer French.
And I'm Brian Beto. Back to you, Sandra and Brett.
Thanks, Jennifer and Lawson. So, trivia, let's hear what you got.
All right, Brett.
Test me.
So how many states are the United States of America?
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm
51.
serious. Sorry, Brett, there's only 50 states.
You're going to embarrass yourself on TV. It's 51.
No, Brett, I took history. I know there's 50 states.
No, trust me, I know this. You're a freshman,
Okay.
I'm a junior, it's 51.
Okay, Brett, so how many states are United States of America?
51. The 51st is,
Time is ticking, Brett.
it's the Midstate. 51st is the Midstate magazine, that is.
Brett, you
Anyways, we'll get to
slay
that
me.
later.
About time with Amanda Swanson.
Today we find ourselves in the heart of Bradley Park near downtown Peoria. Being nestled in so close to the busy downtown of Peoria, Bradley Park gives Peoria citizens a great area to relax and escape the everyday.
Being involved out here allows you to make a group of friends that, for me, have become like family.
But as widely used as the park is today, there is one feature that is commonly overlooked, the Cornstalk Theater. Located in the upper part of Bradley Park on Park Road, the Cornstalk Theater offers breathtaking performances and an enjoyable outdoor atmosphere in Bradley Park. The theater does year-round performances tailored to all kinds of audiences.
The main benefit I like to think is it's a family-oriented facility. Actually, one of our performances this summer had third-generation theater members.
Next time that you're in Bradley Park, I hope you can make a stop by the Cornstalk Theater and just see what you can do. For Midstate Magazine, I'm Amanda Swanson.
Thanks, Amanda. So, okay, we got the states down. I was just joking, it's 50.
Yeah.
And what else? We got, you know what it was called back when?
Old Glory.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that.
Actually, I thought it was something. Why would they call it Old Glory? Wouldn't it be like New Glory because they just made it?
No. Back in the late 1800s, Captain William Driver, he was presented a 24-star flag, and as it was raised in the air, he yelled, "Old Glory!" It was called that ever since.
You've been studying.
Yes, I have.
Let's see. We got the states, stripes.
Stripes. What do stripes represent, Brad?
Well, there's 13, and each one is for each colony.
Oh, okay, maybe you have been studying yourself.
The stars. What are the stars?
50 states of the Union.
I'm gonna get. Oh, I thought I was gonna get you on that one.
No.
Let's see. The colors. Do you know the colors?
Okay. Do you know what red means?
Red means it's time to go. We got to go with
On
Rihanna.
the beat, Rihanna Pouncey.
Hello, and welcome to the first edition of On Beat, Midstate's music review. I'm your host, Rihanna Pouncey. This week, we'll be reviewing an album by an artist that's kept the world going crazy all summer long, Gnarls Barkley. St. Elsewhere is composed of frantic beat work by Danger Mouse, a slick producer known for his work with bands like The Gorillaz, and insightful lyric work by CeeLo, a creative staple of Atlanta hip-hop and soul creating one of the most innovative albums of 2006.
I remember when I lost my mind.
The album is an eclectic array of genre-blending, mind-bending songs taking influences of hip-hop, soul, Motown, blues, and even rock, and creating quite the unique sound for such a small package. The short album length didn't stop this 38-minute album from taking the world by storm, one download at a time. Crazy, the album's first mega hit single, made history in the UK as the first to reach #1 on download sales alone. The internet phenomenon would top 15 singles charts worldwide before being retired in May. But this beautifully soulful track is just the tip of the iceberg that is St. Elsewhere's. Smiley Faces makes a perfect second single, reiterating the Motown-esque production. It introduces a much happier, lighter side of Gnarls' personality, with catchy harmonies, bouncy lyrics, and a groovy Motown bass line, making this track simply irresistible. What makes St. Elsewhere truly special, though, is the wide range of emotions expressed over an equally impressive collection of instrumentals. This monumental album is laced with a number of humorous yet thoughtful one-liners like this gem in Who Cares?
But who cares? You see, everybody is somebody. But nobody wants to
Whether
be
you seek a lighthearted humor in songs like The Boogeyman and Transformer, as well as thoughtful grooves like Who Cares and Just a Thought, St. Elsewhere's aims to please without taking too much of your time. On Beat gives Gnarls Barkley's debut a 4, 1 out of 5. You can keep on beat with this witty duo by logging on to gnarlsbarkley.com or checking them out on MySpace. Until next time, I'm Rihanna Pouncey. Back to you, Sandra and Brett.
Thanks, Rihanna.
So back to those colors.
Yeah,
now,
I was just stalling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so what does the red symbolize?
Okay, now that I had time to think it over, red is hardiness.
Okay.
Do you know what white is?
Purity.
Wow, you actually know them. And blue is justice.
So Brett, I see you have a flag folded here. How'd you do that?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows how to fold a flag, but you actually fold it over 12 times, and each one like represents the thing. And just fold it over like that. And I don't know. Boy Scouts taught me well.
Boy Scouts, I was in Girl Scouts.
Really? What troop were you?
121.
123.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, are you serious?
Oh, right, that's what you
Okay,
did.
we'll talk about that later. Wow, that's weird. Okay, so we'll talk about that later, but first let's go to
All right,
Get
let's
Real.
get real with Shannon Pierce.
Thanks, Sandra and Brett. This summer has been a lackluster season for movies. Everything has either been a sequel, a remake, or Snakes on a Plane. However, Little Miss Sunshine manages to shine through and prove to audiences that there are still movies worth the price of admission. Let's take a look. Little Miss Sunshine is a story of the Hoovers, a dysfunctional family going on a road trip from New Mexico to California for the Little Miss Sunshine beauty pageant. Olive, played by Abigail Breslin, is the hyper 7-year-old and newest contestant.
Now she has a place in the state contest in Redondo Beach.
Her acceptance into the pageant drags the rest of the family members unwillingly into a long road trip. But the film doesn't feel like a road trip movie. Each character is easy to connect with. There's Frank, played by the always funny Steve Carell, a failed Proust scholar who was so depressed he attempted to commit suicide. Contrasting Carell's character is Richard, who is so egotistical that he has a 9-step self-help program. Watching Carell and Kinnear go at it on screen are some of the film's major high points.
Frank, shut up.
But who can forget Grandpa, played by Alan Arkin, who is as sour as he is hilarious throughout the entire film. He constantly chimes in about what he dislikes, but it doesn't become tedious.
I know you're a homo and all, but maybe you can appreciate this.
Dad, that's enough. Stop it. You're not going to shut me up. I still got Nazi bullets in my...
Cheryl, played by Toni Collette, is always around in the movie, but seems very distant, just as audiences might feel towards her character. Dwayne, Paul Dano, is the angst-ridden teenager who doesn't speak, but reacts humorously to the dysfunction around him. Each character is easy to relate to and provide for some very enjoyable moments. All in all, Little Miss Sunshine isn't as much of a road trip movie as it is a story of growing up and dealing with problems that everyday life can throw at you. Little Miss Sunshine truly does shine through, and I give this one 5 out of 5 stars. I'm Shannon Piers. Back to you, Sandra and Brett.
Thanks, Shannon. So 5 out of 5 stars. It's not quite 50 stars like the flag, but
Right.
we'll have to do.
Well, 51 to what you say, but 50 is fine
This
with
is
me.
the 51st flag for Midstate Magazine. We'll keep that right there.
How cute, Brett.
Yes.
So did you know the Statue of Liberty, or Liberty Light in the World, was a gift from France as a sign of freedom and democracy?
I actually did know that. When I was a kid, I actually went to the Statue of Liberty.
Really?
And I remember we studied this in my last class last year. At the bottom of it, you know, give me you're tired, you're poor. It was written by Emma Lazarus, who's like a great American writer. Yeah, so I think it's something for everyone to know. Just kind of, you know, in hardships and times of hardship, in like 9/11, it's important, you know, for the Statue of Liberty to stand tall and our nation stand strong. So I think that means a lot. That's pretty, yeah. I don't know. Statue of Liberty, important. Yes. I'd actually like to go again sometime to New York. But first, let's see. Daniel Shore will provide us a look at an aspect of Bradley's campus on which many people, including students themselves, are not fully aware of with Explorations Bradley. So let's hear Dan Shore.
There's one person on campus who has touched lives of more students than even she may ever know. As students search for sustenance to get them through the day, they turn to one woman. With the memory of an elephant and the delicate hands of a sculptor, she remembers each student's request and turns their hopes into reality. Her name is Velma, and as the omelet lady on campus, she's the mom of every Bradley student's morning routine. Which begins as they make their way through the line with great anticipation of the omelet bar still to come, the proverbial flame at the end of the food line. How many omelets Velma makes each morning, however, remains a mystery.
I tried to count one day, and then they got me mixed up because I counted my plates when I started, and then the students just kept putting plates on there, so I lost count.
However, Velma doesn't let quantity take precedent over quality. As a master craftswoman in the art of omelet making, she effortlessly unites the crucial ingredients for an edible piece of art. As time ticks by, countless students indulge in Velma's creations made specifically for them. And despite her rigorous morning routine of making omelets, she also makes time to joke around. So when a student hears,
"Ham and cheese omelet,"
they pay Velma a visit, not realizing that's what makes her day.
I enjoy working with the students and talking to the students.
Whether it's ham, cheese, scrambled, or omelet, one woman can make a difference. I'm Daniel Shore for Midstate Magazine.
Thanks, Dan. It's really not fair for them to show like omelets and this and that, and we're just up here with no food.
I'm
Like
hungry now.
that should be part of the budget. They should put some omelets and maybe like a cheeseburger or something.
Yeah, we should be worth some food later on, but
We'll bring that up. Maybe if the viewers request that the hosts need to be treated better with some omelets, you know.
Yes,
So if anyone wants to send in any emails, I'm not saying anything, just, you know, omelets would be nice.
real nice.
So back to the patriotic theme. Maybe we said the Pledge of Allegiance, kind of a joke earlier,
Right.
but the big controversy back in schools was, it said under God and separation between church and state.
Yes, I read that. I heard that in the news the other night, actually.
Yeah, and it's still somewhat of a controversy, and it's still out there, so people should know. But
so
first,
how do you feel about that, Brett?
let's go to State of Arts first, and
Okay.
then we'll talk about how I feel with Stanzi Wolf.
Thanks, Sandra and Brett. Sculpting can be done with a wide array of materials. The advanced sculpting class at Bradley University teaches just that. With us today are Zach Zetterberg and Aaron Felder, who are students in this class. Thanks for being here, guys. So you both are part of the same advanced sculpting class, but you work with different kinds of materials, and right now you're doing stone sculpture, and that's your piece right there.
Yes, it is.
So what goes into making a piece like that? How do you go about making it?
Well, I start out with a raw chunk of marble, which comes from a quarry, and then I take grinding and cutting tools, and I start sculpting the shape that I kind of have in my mind, and then I start seeing things that could be removed, and I take those tools and I start digging into the stone, making some crevices, some holes, some interesting shapes, and once I'm done with the overall form of the stone, I begin sanding it. I then apply some wax to polish it, and then I buff it out with a die grinding tool.
And how long does it take to make a piece like that?
That piece of stone took me about 3 months.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a long time.
Yeah, but it's fun.
And Aaron, you also are in the same class, but you right now are working with bronze. You're a bronze caster?
Yeah, I cast bronze, and well, the way it works is you sculpt your form, your image, whatever, out of wax, and then you have to make a sprue system for it, which helps the bronze later then flow in, because you make your form and then you have to surround it with investment, which is kind of like plaster, and then you melt all the wax out in a kiln, and then you pour molten bronze in there, and it fills up all the vacancy where the wax was. And so all that sprue system and vents helps for the bronze to flow in and fill the space.
And how long does that take? I mean, is that really long?
That pretty much just depends on how big a piece and how detailed your piece is.
What kinds of pieces do you make with bronze?
Do I make personally?
Yeah.
I'm making a comic strip out of bronze.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, I have to make like 12 separate bronze sculptures that then work together.
Okay. And how did you guys find out about this class?
Well, we're both interested in art.
Right,
so
you're both art majors.
We're in the art building, and you have to take 3D design, and then you get introduced to 3D sculpture, and then if you're interested in that, then you go on to a more advanced class and you start doing things out of stronger materials and using bigger tools and things like that.
What other materials? Is it just, stone and bronze? I mean, are there other types of sculpture materials?
You can do stuff out of steel, where you like weld steel together to make a sculpture, or we can also do aluminum casting, wood sculpture, where you carve out of wood or you build and assemble things out of wood. Anything three-dimensional really counts.
You can really use anything.
Just any kind of
You
material.
can use fabrics, anything you find. Really.
Girls doing a sculpture out of paper in our class.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach and Aaron. For State of the Arts, I'm Stanzi Wolf. Back to you, Sandra and Brett.
Thanks, Stanzi. So as we were discussing before, in the Pledge of Allegiance, kids saying under God within it, and it being school. It's just something for people to think about today, whether it's actually with God or when you're just saying it, it's just part of a ritual. So it's people to decide what their own preference is.
Right. I like that, Brett. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that, Brett.
Yeah.
And also, thank you for another successful week of
Yeah,
Midstate
definitely.
Magazine.
Production crew, everybody who works here. We'd like to honor our nation, but also honor everyone who puts together Midstate Magazine. It takes a lot. So yeah, we'd like to honor them and really realize how much goes into this. It's not just us. There's people behind here with cameras and all that fun stuff. So when you're tuning in, it's been a great show. But always remember,
keep your hand on your heart.
And your eyes away from that TV, unless, of course, we're on.
Well, of course. But also, to America Midstate Magazine,
we salute you. And so it's been a great show. We hope to see you next time.
Yes.
Bye-bye now.